2, 1. Lights out.
Tell us your name.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
We don't.
Do you? Do you? Well, we have someone here that can explain a little bit more about the paranormal, of course, and a little bit more about Haunted Hamilton. It's Spooky Steph, as everybody knows her. Spooky Steph. It's Leshniak, right?
Yeah,
I got it right.
Perfectly.
Perfectly. Okay, first off, let's talk a little bit about being a paranormal investigator. How did that come to be for you? How did you end up in this career?
It's a career I just seemed to walk into, and I think it was my calling, because everything since I started paranormal investigating has fallen into place for me the way it should. And yeah, it's a career, but it's not a career you can go to school for. I mean, in the U.S., you can be accredited. Here, it's all self-taught, self-learned, and self-experience, and I've had a lot of that.
You've been doing it over 20 years. You've been doing these tours. It's called Haunted Hamilton.
Haunted Hamilton, yep.
And so you take people all over to go find different experiences.
Yeah, Haunted Hamilton's not just about Hamilton. We do haunted bus trips, and we take people to some of the most insane asylums, the most haunted insane asylums, jails, all over Canada and the U.S., where they film the Shawshank Redemption. We have that all to ourselves. Yeah, lots of cool places.
And what's the spookiest place that you've been to? What's the one that you felt most connected to?
Well, you just threw two questions at me.
Yeah.
Spookiest places, I would say probably Amityville Horror House. That is the creepiest place I've ever been to. Literally, the places where you know what happened, real history, real murders, that provides a space for real hauntings. And Amityville Horror wasn't any different. I stood on the front property of Amityville, and I looked up, and you can sense the ghosts there. And Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring, she's a hero of mine, personal hero, and I had the opportunity to meet her, and I had a discussion with her about what it was like to go to Amityville for the very first time. They were the first paranormal investigators called in, her and her husband Ed, and they went in and they told me she told me what she had saw and everything. And when I stood outside of Amityville, I could feel it too. I mean, families, you know, were murdered there. So.
What's the one place you felt most connected to?
Most connected to, in Hamilton, the Customs House. The Dark Lady's haunted there for 150 years. I've physically seen her. Out of my 20-year career, I've only once seen a full-out apparition, and it was her. So I would say the Customs House.
So there's some people right now probably watching saying, I don't believe this. The non-believers out there. Do you make non-believers believers, and how do you do that?
Generally, I do, but the term I like to use is healthy skeptic. Basically, I'm going to try and disprove something is paranormal before I'm going to claim it's paranormal. That being said, you know, we get sent a lot of orb photos every day. That can be dust, moisture. You can explain those. There's personal experiences that I've had that I can't explain, and I find when people come on our tours, you'll find it's usually the girlfriends or the wives that drag their boyfriend. He's like, oh, I don't want to come to this, but I'll go. He comes, and then he's the one leaving with the experience. I can definitely turn people around on that.
So you have a tattoo. You said that's a personal experience. So what was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says here, Moya, I don't know where you can see it, but it says Moya Kitsia in Ukrainian, and it means my kitten. And my grandmother, my Baba, who I was really close with, she passed away a few years ago. And ever since I was a baby, she called me her kitten. So I got this tattoo before she passed away, and she was on her deathbed, and I showed her it, and I held her hand, and I said, Baba, I got this tattoo for you. I know you hate tattoos, but I got it for you, so you'll always be with me. So anyways, when I found out about this health scare, by the way, go get a mole checked out. If you have a mole, get it checked out. I did that, I'm fine. But in the moment when you're assessing your life, and I was there on the couch, totally alone, crying, I don't want to die. Baba, give me a sign. I looked right at her picture on the mantle, and in that exact same moment, I didn't even have time to wipe away my tears. All of a sudden, our other cat, a black cat, started growling at the window. So I went and looked, and I pulled the blinds out, and all of a sudden, there was this little creature sitting on our back chair, and almost dead, but what it was a hairless Sphinx Siamese cat.
Wow.
Now, if it was any other kind of cat, I would have been like, shoo, shoo, you know, ew, gross, homeless cat. But, and where we live, there's no way this cat could have got there. It's literally like it was beamed. We did due diligence. Nobody was missing a cat. They're worth a lot. She became my little baby, but in that moment when I asked my Baba for a sign that I was going to be okay, boom, this little kitten beamed to me, and Moya Kitsia.
That's amazing. So we got 30 seconds. What do you got going on?
Dark Carnival is this weekend. It's at the Hamilton Convention Center, the 9th and the 10th. Now, you can go to darkcarnivalexpo.com. We have lots of cool people. Guillermo del Toro, Mitch Markowitz, he's going to be here in studio a little bit later from Hilarious House of Frightenstein. Now, him and I are hosting a paranormal investigation at Hamilton Place on Friday, this Friday. Never been done before. We have access to the legendary tunnels, infamous tunnels underneath everywhere. They're letting us have full access. Paranormal investigation. So yeah, there's still tickets left for that.
And of course, you can find that information right on our website here at Breakfast Toronto. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did I scare you?
A little bit, a little bit. I got a little bit of the hairs. I can feel them right now, kind of standing up a little bit. Once again, more information, you can go to our website. We have much more coming right up after the break. Ooh, thank you, spooky stuff.